Amazing, thank you so much. And yeah, I am highly aware that I'm the only thing standing between you and your lunch, so I will keep it as quick as possible. I'm here to talk about DataGuard's platform. And DataGuard's platform, it really started as a privacy product that we built for, at first, the German market several years ago. And what we did was we added information security, we added more frameworks like whistleblowing, we launched in the UK, which added UK GDPR into the mix, preference manager. And what we had essentially was a mix of different products and solutions that we've now merged into a single platform. And this single platform, just to give you an idea about how it works, it essentially uses shared apps which can be used across the domains of privacy, information security, and compliance to solve some of our customers' biggest challenges. And we've learned a lot. We've learned a lot over the years in terms of like solving customers' challenges, because we've worked with thousands of businesses at this point, and really different types of businesses. So different levels of maturity, different sizes, different frameworks, different geographies. And what we've learned really is that we have to build a holistic compliance management solution that is the only feasible option. And I'm going to pull up this slide from earlier because I think it really perfectly illustrates why. You can see that there's so much different types of pressure, compliance and security pressure on different people, different departments, and for different reasons as well. I mean, if you think about just the topic of information security, and you think about John here, who's the head of IT, he's going to be worried about, okay, is my company going to get hacked? Do I have the right preventative measures in place? Because if a security incident does happen, my job could be on the line. Sarah, the CEO, she's also going to be worried about getting hacked, but on a different flight level. She's going to worry about what will happen to my company if we have a security incident. You know, how will this affect our reputation? Will it destroy the trust that we've built with our customers, sometimes over years or even decades? You could even have, for example, a head of sales as well. So maybe a head of sales isn't going to worry every day, is the company going to be hacked? But what they are going to, they're still going to care about information security, because they need an ISO certification when they go to win deals. And also if they're applying for RFPs, tenders, things like that, they're going to need to be able to prove a certain level of security and fill out those security questionnaires. So you have a very interesting situation where essentially a lot of different people have different stakes in what is the same problem. And this is quite challenging from a product development perspective. But also, it's always been our mission to try, how do we make this as easy as possible for all of you? And I think focusing on ease and focusing on simplicity can't really be understated, because as we've seen from the talks earlier, the regulatory landscape, it's changed so much. I mean, I've been working at DataGuard for 3 years now, and already it looks completely different to the past 3 years, and certainly from when we started building the product. So how do we help you manage all of this complexity? And we've worked with customers. We now work with many of our customers who are working on like multiple frameworks at the same time or at different points. And this has been really interesting, learning about the challenges that are involved with doing that. And it's just really fortified our vision that you need a unified management system to be able to tackle all of this complexity. So this is what we're trying to build essentially at DataGuard. It's a PIC management system. And we believe when you have such a system in place, you're able to, first of all, internally collaborate a lot more effectively across your different departments. You can also collaborate much more effectively with external stakeholders. So for example, if you have customers, auditors, the experts at DataGuard, it makes that collaboration much more simple. You can also add new frameworks as and when you need them. And crucially, it also helps you to reduce the time and effort that it takes to do that. And this is really, really an important point, because maybe managing one framework isn't so bad, but once your business starts to manage 3, 4, 5, 6 different frameworks, it's going to become very expensive. So we have to find some way to help drive down that complexity and make that more efficient for your business. And with that, I'd like to talk a little bit about our platform as it is today and some of the capabilities that we're launching by the end of this year. All of these capabilities, we've developed them with our customers. So we're really just on this journey with you and really trying to build a solution that will help solve your most complex compliance challenges. And for simplicity's sake, what we've done is we've sort of grouped the capabilities that I'm about to show you in different categories, because some of the capabilities, they're applicable across the domains of privacy, information security, and compliance, whereas some of them are a little bit more privacy or information security focused right now. But I'll start with the capabilities that are maybe a little bit more domain agnostic. And the first one is documentation. So we work with thousands of customers on information security. And one of the things we wanted to do is make showing an auditor that you are compliant as easy as possible. So what documentation is doing is essentially you can click on any framework and immediately our platform will show, based on the requirements or the clauses of that framework, all of your evidence listed that shows an auditor or any type of external party that you are compliant with that framework. And essentially what this is doing, it's collecting things like risks, documentation, policies, tasks that you've completed, and everything's collected and organized nicely, which I don't know if anyone's been through an ISO 27001 audit, but I think having things organized, auditors definitely really appreciate that. And in addition, we also wanted it to be flexible. So it's not only limited to content that you have on the DataGuard platform, you can also link evidences that you might have stored elsewhere in your business for whatever reason. So you can also add the links in there. So it's truly as flexible as possible. We also want it to be collaborative because building evidences like this sometimes can take months depending on the size and complexity of your business. So as you can see, there's a notes section. You can create tasks that are relevant to creating, to gathering the evidence for that requirement, and you can collaborate a lot easier with your DataGuard expert. And so yeah, and then another thing that we wanted to build into this was that this obviously doesn't happen once, right? It's documentation of evidence, so it's going to change all the time. As your business changes, you're going to have to update this. So what we've also built into this is that it will push you regularly to revise your evidences to make sure that they're up to date. And also there's an activity log, so you also have total transparency of all of the changes that have ever been made over the course of your certification journey. Next is our policies capability, which we're launching in the next few weeks. And this one was highly requested by basically all of our customers. And what this capability is all about is it's really about making, creating, editing, and sharing policies as simple as possible. And to make it as simple, what we started with was policy templates, because why would you start building a policy from scratch? You can start by using a template. So you start by simply choosing a template that is that you need. So depending on your industry, depending on your requirements at the time, and you can immediately start editing that policy, versioning it, and collaborating with the DataGuard expert on the platform on that policy. And also, I mean, you might also come from a place where you already have some policies. That's totally fine. You don't have to use a template. It's just there to make it easier for you. If you already have a document in place, you can upload that one and start editing from there. And what this will allow you to do is share policies with different departments in your company. Maybe you might have to share it with different people for approval. That's all built in. But then there comes the next step, because what our customers often said to us was, okay, DataGuard, great, I have this policy now, but it's kind of a bit useless if no one follows it and no one reads it. So what do? I have this nice policy. So we've actually built sharing and attestation into the policies app as well. So when you have a policy that's ready that you want to share with your employees, or you want to share with maybe even a certain department in your company, what you can do is share this with them, and it will also collect their attestation, so you can view on an employee level who has read the policy and who has accepted the policy. And that's what we really we hope will help start to drive that behavior change in your company, because that's also a massive part of compliance, as was touched on in the last panel. Humans are the weakest link, so we have to make sure that we're engaging with the whole organization. The next thing that we're launching, again, in a couple of weeks, which was highly requested, particularly from our corporate customers, is Granular Users and Permissions. So we're about to launch a new config app, and that will essentially allow you to administrate within the DataGuard platform users and permissions. So you can invite your team, you can create customized groups, and because, I mean, by nature compliance, you want to make sure that only the right people have the access to the right things. So you can really manage that yourself on the DataGuard platform. And what we're going to do is also build on this in the coming weeks and months, because we realize that compliance, it really looks so different in every company. So we want to be able to give you the ability to build kind of more granular permissions and custom groups. So I'll give a silly example, but if you have someone in your company or a group of people and you want them to be able to administrate academy courses, but also view certain types of contracts and also view certain types of documents, you can actually build that type of access completely granularly yourself and give the people that you choose access. Next, we have AI, and of course, AI is coming up again. A lot of our customers are super, super stressed about AI, because I think it feels like this, you know, it's like this beast that's gotten out of the cage, but we're trying to tame it at the same time, and everyone's using it, and everyone's kind of panicking, but also enjoying using it, so it's quite an interesting challenge. And maybe actually I could ask the room, like, can I have a show of hands raise your hand if your company has implemented training around AI, so using AI ethically, compliantly, and you have policies in place to mitigate the risk there. You can't be from DataGuard. So I think that's like 3 people. Okay. Yeah, but I mean, that's completely expected, to be honest. That's the situation that all of our customers are facing. So next week already, we're getting ready to launch an AI training course, and that's really to help you and help your entire team get to grips with using AI compliantly. And not only do we have that, we also have an additional course that's specifically for software engineers that our team of engineers at DataGuard built. So it's specifically looking into Gen AI and software engineering. And yeah, so if you want to check that out next week, I think it's really, really useful to roll out to your entire team, especially if people are using AI in their daily work. Next, we have our privacy-related capabilities. So Compliance Copilot. I'm super excited about this one. As I mentioned, we've worked with thousands of businesses, and although we come across very complex and interesting challenges, we do see a lot of the same stuff all the time. And one of the things we were talking about in the product and engineering team was, why can't we share some of this knowledge and leverage some of this knowledge that we've built up over the years? Because if you have, for example, a lot of the apps on DataGuard have questionnaires, and this is a really essential way that we can collect information from you and really understand how your processes are working at the moment. What we found out is we can, using AI as well, suggest answers for you based on companies of a similar size, of a similar industry, and that will just, it's essentially just giving you a bit of a shortcut and save you time. We can also, for example, implement a co-pilot when it comes to things like risk management. If you have a risk scenario and you're trying to build a treatment plan for it, why can't you learn from what other companies have done hundreds of times before with a similar risk? So this is something that we're really, really excited to roll out. Next, we have Consent and Preference Manager, and I don't think I have to explain what Consent and Preference Manager does, because Taj and Demir gave a really good overview in the panel earlier. But Consent and Preference Manager, this is essentially, it's a data game, because if you think about it, it's personal data and also the consent records that are going along with that, with those personal data. And the problem that we see with a lot of our customers is they have so many different systems that are collecting data, collecting also the consent information, and they're not connected. So Preference Manager is really bringing those together, and integrations are a crucial part to be able to deliver that. We already launched a couple of CPM integrations earlier this year, and essentially what we want to do for the rest of the year is just really build on that. So we're building integrations with tools such as MailChimp and Marketo. These, again, were highly requested by our customers. And really what this does is it makes CPM a marketing manager's or head of marketing's best friend, because if you have total peace of mind that the data that you're using is compliant and you have an audit trail for all of the contacts in your database, you can much more confidently send better campaigns. And also because you understand your customers better, because you've collected better data about them, your campaigns can then be more successful. And that's what we've seen with our CPM customers. In addition to the integrations, we also want to make this better for the marketing managers that are using CPM. So as a bonus, what we're also building is a marketing dashboard. And this will really allow marketing professionals to visualize how increased opt-in rates and having a more compliant and engaged database of contacts has led to greater success in marketing campaigns. And finally, InfoSec. I think we saved the best for last. So risk. Of course, it's a massive topic, not just in InfoSec, but across compliance. And risk, we really believe, is the shared language of compliance, because if you imagine a information security expert and a CEO and a legal counsel all together in a room talking, what they're really going to be talking about is risk and how to mitigate it. And it's quite ambitious, but really our goal with risk management is we want to build the most simplified risk management solution on the market, which is really saying something because risk is quite complicated. And already on the DataGuard platform today, we have an end-to-end risk management solution, so you can treat a risk, build a treatment plan, mitigate all the risks with your business. And what we want to do is just really double down on that and extend the capabilities there. So one of the things that we'll be introducing is more granular ways to track how you're mitigating risks and really diversifying your mitigation strategy based on different controls and different frameworks. For our corporate customers, we're going to introduce a customizable risk grid. So what you can do there is, if you want to kind of visualize your risk on a 3x3 grid or a 4x4 or a 5x5, you can basically just set that yourself. And so you can measure that yourself, and also what you can do is visualize it in a heat map. And that heat map is actually super helpful for when it comes to corporate governance and all of the reporting that you have to do there. We're not stopping there, so we'll also do regular monthly risk reports. So that means that you can keep key stakeholders in your business in the loop. So you can have an overview of all of the open risks across your business and regularly review them and make sure that they're treated. And for those of our customers who maybe are a little bit newer to risk management and don't really know where to start, we're also adding a lot more guidance content and self-education content, which means that pretty much anyone using the DataGuard platform can start implementing a regular risk management routine that runs on a monthly basis. And then finally, we have security questionnaires. Thomas alluded to it in his presentation earlier. So I don't know, I'm sure that there's people in the room who've actually had to fill out one of these security questionnaires. I had to do it once, and it was excruciating. I'm not going to lie. It was about an Excel sheet with about 700 questions. And it's one of those tasks that's kind of a mix of being very time consuming and also very boring. And I was speaking with a customer of ours who said he has to fill out at least 1 or 2 of these a week. And that's actually really, really difficult, because they're all sent from different vendors and different businesses, so they all look different. You can't really copy paste so easily your answers from one to the other, and it's all in all just a very time-consuming process. So we asked ourselves, why can't AI do it? And that's what we're going to do with our new compliant security questionnaire tool. So all you would need to do is upload the questionnaire, so the Excel file that you've received. And because you have a lot of policies and documentation already stored with DataGuard, all the AI will do is scan them for the answers that you already have, so you don't have to dig them out for 700 different questions. It's going to suggest you an answer with a confidence score for every question, and then all you need to do is either accept the answer or reject it. And you can also, of course, edit it and add more detail if you want. But we hope that this will save our customers really a lot of time. It will help you respond to tenders a lot quicker, and then you can just reinvest the time that you saved into something else and something more valuable for your business. And that's it, that's a wrap. So thank you so much for your attention. And if you have any questions about our platform, about our product, feel free to approach me at any point during the day. You can also approach Caoilainn, our co-founder and CPO. And with that, I hope you enjoy the lunch and the rest of the Epic Summit.